Hello. So with this 5 minutes of video, we are going to explain what art brut is. Art brut has become quite popular for the last few decades, especially within the economically developed countries of the world. Yet the term is used ambiguously and the kind of creation it refers to is often misunderstood.
So we will briefly clarify the notion of art brut.
L'art brut is a French term that literally means raw art. So it is easy to guess that's a kind of artistic creation. Yet, what kind of artistic creation? In order to make sense of art brut as raw art, let's think about art for a few minutes. Probably one of the most common questions heard in front of an artwork would be,
what is this?
Or what's the meaning of this? And actually it's a very artistic question and often more meaningful than any answers that explain the meaning of this or that artwork. We human beings, from the very beginning of our existence, we try to make sense of the world. From religion to science, underneath all human activities, there lies this desire to make sense of our existence. Because we humans, we are sense-making beings. We create and give meaning to the world. And art is the purest human activity of creating and giving meaning to the world.
In this sense, Nietzsche said that human is above all an artist. And all human activity is artistic, since whatever we do, it is primarily about creating a meaning.
So how is it possible that art being our fundamental human activity, many people forget about considering themselves as artists? They think that they don't understand art and actually they don't enjoy art. Since we create and give meaning to the world, meaning is socially constructed through negotiations within a social setting, generally within a culture, throughout the history. In this sense, art doesn't mean the same thing in India and in ancient Greece. Similarly, Renaissance art in France is different than the contemporary art in France. So what people do not understand generally is not art, but a specific art which can be referred as cultural arts. An art which is created and valued according to the norms of a specific society or culture within a specific period of time. So now let's think of raw art within this context. They do not have access to education and they are excluded from social circles. Creators' distance to the society is what frees them from the social norm, whereas many of us, we think that we don't understand art, we don't know much about art, so we don't dare to create art. Art brut creators, they feel free to create as they wish to create, following an urge to create. Art brut creators, they do not create for social or financial profit, but in order to create, in order to express an urge to create. So their artistic language is generally very unconventional and very subjective. Yet it's more communicative because it is the expression of a common human orientation to create, expressed in a very raw way. In order to enjoy an art brut work, you don't have to be knowledgeable about it. You can find an art brut work ugly, beautiful, interesting or boring. In any case, you are free to interact with the work in your own terms as much as the creator felt free to create it. An art brut work talks to you through the common language of creation. You like whatever it says or not. This kind of creation must first conceptualize in France against the normative understanding of art of the Western society. So it is not a Western art form, but it is an attempt to liberate Western art from its normative frameworks, which had taken art from its people and made it enjoyment of a relatively small community. So art brut cannot be understood in terms of definitions, since it exists at a certain distance to the society that creates such definitions. Trying to understand art brut according to the normative frameworks of a society would miss the value of the works in question, which is nothing but pointing to a different thought and a different world. A world that handles the existence as a multiplicity of subjectivities without forcing it under this or that category. A world of fundamental human activity of creating meaning freely. So next week we are going to talk about the misconceptions of art brut and art brut creators and of outsider art.